My fiancé wanted only his name on the mortgage, even though I was paying half. Now he won't have anything at all. My fiancé and I have been together for 10 years. We had a baby back in 2020, and I lost my job around the same time. Our lease to our apartment was up, and my grandma offered for us to move in with her, so we did. We basically had our own little apartment rent-free. I had thrown the idea of going to school out there, and everyone agreed it was a good idea. My fiancé paid for it, and my grandma watched my baby while I went to class. I graduate this semester. My fiancé has been making $90,000 a year for the past couple of years, and $70,000 when we first moved in. He saved a good amount of money. We agreed to wait to get married until I finished school, and we could buy a house together. We've been looking at houses more seriously for the past couple of months and found one we both love. We started talking to a mortgage broker, and that's when he dropped the bomb on it being him and only him on the mortgage and the deed. He said I wouldn't have anything to do with it. I didn't say anything in the meeting, but afterwards I told him I thought we were buying the house together and I'd pay half the mortgage. He said I would be paying half the mortgage, but my name just wouldn't be on it. So I told him that would mean I'd have no right to the house. And he said he knew. He said since he saved the 40% down that it's only fair that he has the right to the house in case we end things. I told him if that's what he wants to do, then I'm not paying for the mortgage. I said this isn't a partnership, and if he just wants his own place, fine, but I'm not paying for it. He called me a BTCH, saying that he paid for everything for the past few years, including my schooling. I told him I stayed home and watched our child so we didn't have to pay for daycare, and that ended up saving us money since I would have been only able to work part-time. He said he didn't care, and I need to pay for half since I already agreed to it. Update. I told my fiancé we needed to talk about this arrangement, and I asked why he changed his mind all of a sudden. He said he worked hard for his money and didn't want to lose everything if we got divorced. I said that was fair, but he's now putting me in a position to lose everything if I have zero rights to the property. He said I didn't save up the money, so the house should be his and his alone until and unless I put down 40% also. I asked if he'd consider a prenup that would give him the 40% he put down, and we'd split 50-50 the rest of the equity. I said this would protect the lump sum he put down while also giving me equity I'd be paying for. He said he'd have to think about it, but he doesn't like the idea of having to sell if we split. I said then he can get his own place that he can afford on his own if he doesn't want me on the title that badly. I also mentioned that I wanted to do couples therapy before we get married. He said no, that we didn't need therapy and I just needed to listen to him. Update 2. Tonight he and I got to talking about the arrangement again. He said he didn't want to do the prenup I mentioned in my last update. I told him we should get a rental temporarily until we figure everything out and come to an agreement. He outright refused again. He said he didn't want to waste money renting. He then said, I'm not entitled to any of his money, and he won't buy a house after we marry because I'll just win it in a divorce. I said fine, we won't get married. He asked if I was breaking up with him and I said I didn't know, but I needed space. He lost it. Called me a bitch and a gold digger and told me I owe him $30,000. I don't know where he got this number from. He said I'm used up and no one will ever want me again. He went on ranting, yelling at me for about 3 minutes until my grandma came over to us and told him to leave. He's staying the night at a hotel and has called me repeatedly. He's left a few angry voicemails. I feel so numb. I looked at who he's subscribed to on YouTube. Sure enough, I saw Joe Rogan, Fresh and Fit podcast, Just Pearly Things, and Adin Ross. Safe to say he's fallen down the manosphere rabbit hole. Update 3. A few days after my last update, he texted me and asked if we could meet to talk. I agreed and left my kid with my grandma and met him at a coffee shop. He started with an apology and went on about how that wasn't him and he's a good guy. He just drank too much and lost control. He asked me if I still wanted to get married and I said no. He asked if he could move back in so we could work on things, and I said no. He got quiet and asked if I ever even loved him. I said I did, but I can't handle the whole woe is me thing he's been doing. I said I would have never tried to screw him over in the case of a divorce and that if I didn't love him, I would have never had a kid with him. He got angry and yelled that I needed therapy more than he did, and he refused to do it without me. He got up and said he's going to take me to court and fight for full custody, and that I'd never see a dime from him. I'm assuming he meant child support. Since then, he tried dropping by unannounced to take our kid. My grandma's lawyer friend told me that since we don't have a custody agreement in place, it's a free-for-all and he could legally take him across state lines. He said it can be much more difficult to get him back, especially if we don't know where he is. So I didn't let him take our kid, but said he's welcome to come visit, but he's not leaving with him until we have a custody arrangement in place. That ended about as well as you could imagine.